Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is John Shapiro. I'm with LoanDepot. I'm one of the managers. And I have next to me Floralba Lopez, one of our senior loan officers, and Nate Servideo. Today we're going to go over a few programs that you might have heard before, but we're going to expand upon it and talk to you about what we're able to do, how we can help you, and help you succeed and get more contracts done. So I'm going to start off by turning the...
Muy buenos días a todos, bienvenidos. Muchas gracias por estar acá en la reunión. Vamos a empezar con un programa que es ahora muy frecuente y es muy bueno para la gente que, en especial ahora las casas que han subido tanto de precio. Hay esa opción de el préstamo de renovación, la cual usted puede comprar la casa y adquirir un dinero extra para renovar la casa y cerrar. Es un solo préstamo, se cierra y se puede cobrar, se puede hacer como con un FHA, un convencional, con los mismos guidelines que se usan para esos tipos de préstamos, hasta un 3.5% de cuota inicial. Este tipo de préstamo se hace es solamente para primera residencia, no es para inversión. Tiene que ser que vivan en la propiedad. Se toma más o menos, una vez se inicia el préstamo, tiene que iniciarse la renovación en 30 días. Se puede tomar de 60 a 90 días hasta que lo completen, de hacer toda la renovación y poder concretar y cerrar el préstamo. Perdón. Entonces, okay. Se puede hacer compra o refinanciación. Como les dije, se puede hacer hasta un 3.5% de cuota inicial. Las oportunidades con este tipo de préstamo es que ustedes pueden adquirir una buena equity en la casa una vez ya se haya renovado la casa con el dinero que han adquirido para la construcción. Una de las condiciones que se requieren para este tipo de préstamo es que tienen que tener un contratista que tenga licencia y tenga un negocio. No se puede hacer uno mismo, no puede hacer las renovaciones. Tiene que ser con alguien especializado en eso. Como les dije, se puede hacer compra o refinanciación. Una vez ya se haya renovado la casa, van a adquirir buena equity en la casa. De las ventajas de este programa es que no tienes que estar refinanciando para poder adquirir un dinero para hacer el arreglo de la casa. Una de las cosas que también les quería decir es que usualmente el interés en este préstamo va a ser un poquito más alto, usualmente como de 1% o 1.5% a un préstamo regular. Se hace, ¿sí?
¿Cuál es el interés?
No, que se pueda, usualmente, supongamos si está el 4%, usualmente este tipo de préstamo usualmente sube 1% de más. Esa es la diferencia. El préstamo en el FHA, que es el 203K, se hace con hasta un 3.5% de cuota inicial, un mínimo Fico de 580 en adelante. Los mismos guidelines del FHA, simplemente que se está adquiriendo un dinero extra para la construcción o renovación de la casa. Si no se hace préstamos del gobierno, se puede hacer por Fannie Mae, que se llama Home Style, que se puede hacer con hasta un 3% de cuota inicial. Tiene que ser residencia principal. Y se puede hacer de una unidad con el 5% de cuota inicial, 2 unidades hasta un 15% de cuota inicial, buenos días, y un 25% de cuota inicial cuando es de 3 a 4 unidades, que es el Home Style, por el Fannie Mae. Y también tenemos por el VA Loan, 0% de cuota inicial, que se hace 100% financiado. Perdón, quería también decirles que en el FHA los límites son el mínimo tenemos dos tipos, que es el estándar con el máximo dependiendo del condado de donde vayan a hacer el préstamo, es el máximo de los FHA. Y si es limitado, es un máximo de $35,000.
Limitado, what I mean limitado.
Limitado, o sea que solamente hasta $35,000. Ese es el limitado.
Sí, pero
Y él es, ajá,
¿en cuál programa?
en el FHA 203K. So, el estándar, ya como les dije, el estándar es dependiendo en el estado en que se haga el préstamo, la cantidad en el condado en que estén haciendo el préstamo. Y el limitado es solamente máximo hasta $35,000. Con un 3% de cuota inicial, elegibles propiedades pueden ser de 1 a 4 familias. Okay. ¿Cuáles son las cosas que se pueden hacer, verdad? Pueden hacer plomería, pueden hacer remodelar todo lo que es la parte al frente de la casa, reparar si ya tienen una piscina, si ya está hecha la pueden reparar, pueden hacer el landscaping, todo lo que es la parte del jardín de al frente de la casa, todo lo que sea de reparación. O si quieren remodelar la casa y ponerla más moderna, pueden hacer eso también. Pueden hacer...
¿Adiciones?
pueden hacer adiciones, no. They cannot do additions to...
Yes, you
Yes.
can do additions as well. You do energy conservation such as solar. There's all those things on there. You can modernize the home. It includes major remodeling. So major remodeling.
Major.
So this is from 35,000 plus. So if someone comes into a house and they want to modernize it, they want to add energy conservation, they want to replace the roof. So if it's an older home and they really feel like they want to fix it up to their liking, that's the beauty of now the renovation programs today. Because they can come into a home, and if you could help them see the vision of it, they could do almost anything to the home and get the financing for it.
All right.
The only thing you can't do is put in a pool. You can take out a pool, you can fix a pool, you just can't put in a pool. But other than that, you can.
No pueden hacer piscinas, simplemente si están dañadas ya, o sea, si son existentes las pueden arreglar, pero no arreglar o quitarlas, exacto, pero no hacerlas. Sí, tienen que estar ya ahí y que están dañadas y las pueden renovar, las pueden arreglar.
Para estar segura, una pregunta. Él dice para energy conservation incluye los solares, los paneles solares.
Includes the solar panels?
Yes, any energy conservation. So in solar work today or window replacement, you got Y-green out there, which gets attached to the tax on the property. Instead, they could do a renovation, do solar for the heating, do solar on the roof, and they could do window replacement, all through a 203K if they choose to do it. That encompasses everything. So imagine on a 203K, you could do anything you want to the house except for build a pool. You could renovate the pool, you can fix the pool, you could do anything you want to the house but put a pool in.
You can even tear down the entire house as long as you leave up one existing wall and build a whole brand new house. So if you can.
On to certified house.
No,
No,
no, no,
for the
no,
Over
no.
35
No.
up.
No,
For the-
es el...
for the-
She's confused, yeah.
Right, so I had a client once where they bought a house, they wanted to build a bigger house versus an addition to the house. They left up a couple walls on the outer part of the house, tore everything else down, put new footers in, expanded on the house, and rebuilt almost a brand new house with leaving just a few walls. So anything is allowed. There is no limit on the standard that you can do 500, 750, it doesn't matter. You have that ability.
Ese es en el estándar, el limitado es el que tiene hasta $35,000, pero el estándar no tiene límite.
Pero no, I can't understand where's mean limit. Because I know certified
Hay dos
houses, pero
tipos.
when you can ask
When you
for
get the
certified.
bids, when you get the bids from the contractor, so some people might want to come in and only do 2 bathrooms, or might only want to do the kitchen. Well, the scope of that work could only be $25,000 or $30,000, so that fits into the limited one.
Limited
So
one.
35,000 or less fits into a limited. But if they have a larger scope of work, we do the standard. So it's the scope of work that determines if they're doing limited
Or standard.
Standard. But they're not restricted. They could do whatever they would like.
Okay. Do you have any other question?
Eso
Yeah,
podría, perdón, eso podría incluir una efficiency.
What's that?
Efficiency, like an
An
apartment
addition, yeah.
efficiency.
An addition,
An
yeah.
efficiency.
Yeah, no, I understand. They want to build an efficiency
Yes.
on the property. They can do that.
Okay.
And when you apply for a loan, you apply in that, I speak and I say, I want to apply for the loan with purchases and renovation. Isn't it the same
Same.
time?
Sí.
Or you can wait for refinance?
Bueno, lo primero encuentran la propiedad, ¿verdad?
Ajá.
First you find the house
But you know
and you
what
know
house
that
it
it needs repair, so necesita reparaciones. Entonces de ahí, una vez ya entran en contrato, se inicia el proceso, que es buscar los contratistas que tienen que tener licencia, registrados, y entonces ahí empieza como a haber varios contratistas, el cliente puede buscar varias opciones a ver con quién le sale mejor, y una vez, sí. Y una vez ya escogieron al contratista, entonces pasa a manos del banco. El banco chequea obviamente que el contratista tenga licencia y todo eso, lo aprueban. Y entonces ahí ya el contratista va y hace las inspecciones, mira a ver cuánto se le va a ir en arreglos, qué tipo, hacen una lista. Exacto, de todo lo que se va a ir. Y entonces ahí ya lo pasan al banco, lo tienen que aprobar. And that's how it starts. It takes what, 30 days as soon as we start the loan,
Yes,
right?
as soon as we start the loan. So we get all the bids, and we'll talk about how to do that and what contractors. And then we can still close the loan as long as we have all the bids and so forth from the contractor. We close, and you close within 30 days, and then they start the work afterwards.
All right.
The work does not get done until after we close on the loan.
El préstamo no se, o sea, los arreglos no se inician hasta que ya hemos cerrado el préstamo, 30 días después de que se inicia. Desde ahí ya puede empezar.
So you have a loan, we have a loan, like, let's say the house is 300,000. But what I'm gonna do in the house is 50,000 more. So the loan is gonna be for 300,000, and later you added the 50,000.
The loan's gonna be for 350.
350.
350. So when they come out and appraise the property, they're gonna do what's called an after repair value. They're gonna appraise it, and what's gonna happen is the appraiser's gonna get the contractor's information of what's being done, and they're gonna appraise it according to the upgrades on the home. It'd be unfair to the borrower if we just appraised it on the purchase price. We do an appraised after repair value, so they get the maximum.
Lo que acaba de decir él es que una vez ya terminan las reparaciones se hace una tasación otra vez para ver cuánto vale la casa después de las reparaciones, para coger lo máximo en lo que ha tasado la casa, valorado, valor de la casa, sí.
Pero no more valor to the money.
No,
No more money.
no more money. El préstamo queda en 350, sí, sí.
Okay, okay.
Ujú.
La propiedad queda con lien, o sea, con gravamen.
Claro, se está haciendo un préstamo de 350,000, sí.
Mechanically.
Lo único, mire, todos igualitos.
La pregunta es, por ejemplo, si ya la persona tiene la propiedad y quiere hacerse a este crédito.
Ah, una refinanciación.
Sí, como quiere
Claro.
hacer un crédito para mejoras solamente.
Sí,
La casa, ustedes lo hacen y la casa queda con lien.
claro, claro, sí. Dependiendo lo que vaya a usar para renovar la casa, eso es lo que va a quedar como el link para la propiedad. Un préstamo, un préstamo.
Una pregunta. Supone si la persona califica para un préstamo de 400, que es el valor de la casa, y entonces se dan unos 200 los arreglos, ¿eso tiene que sumar con el préstamo
O sea,
otro resta?
she's asking if the property is worth 400,000 and the repairs are 200,000. How do you do in that case?
It's no problem. It's the after repair value. So if the property or the scope of the work is 200,000, that's given to the appraiser, and when he goes out, he'll appraise it according to the property after the value, after the repairs are done.
Acuérdate que una vez cuando empieza el proceso de la renovación, cuando ya termina, la casa va a valer mucho más dinero porque ya está como nueva. Entonces, basado en lo que hayan renovado, pues van a hacer otra tasación y va a venir otro appraisal después de que terminen.
Ok, la pregunta es como con respecto de lo de ella. I found a house. It's on the market for 400,000, right? Yo voy donde ustedes me prestan 1%. You do the appraisal first and say, okay, the value right now is 4,000, or you do an appraisal, an estimate appraisal. Okay, after all, it's gonna be 600,000.
It's after.
So-
They do the appraisal according to after you do your repairs. They do it right up front, but they do the estimation of what the value would be after you repair it.
Hacen una estimación de lo que vale después de que ya la hayan arreglado.
The estimate and say, okay,
When we start the loan, we ask for the contractors and we
That's what they say.
bids on the property. So when the appraiser comes out, they're handed the bids, we submit it to them of what work is being done, the scope of the work. When they do their appraisal, when they factor that in, they factor a redone kitchen or redone bathrooms, and they factor that into their appraisal amount. They no longer look at the purchase price, they look at the actual scope of the work.
So, la respuesta es sí, hacen un appraisal antes y un appraisal después de que termina la renovación, que va a valer mucho más la casa después de la
si
renovación.
usted
Yes,
gasta
question.
150,000 en arreglos, no quiere decir que la casa va a valer
Claro.
150,000 más.
Claro,
Va a valer
usualmente ellos son, por eso contratan gente especializada en eso, porque el banco nunca va a perder, entonces ellos quieren estar seguros que el dinero que... Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Right. On their programs, they're able to put in the new kitchen, the new bathrooms, and then they're gonna take properties
You
that
got a
have been
question?
renovated and use those as the comparables.
Yeah, they're gonna tell you, you spend 100,000, but the value's gonna be just 5.
Correct. The only thing you gotta be careful of is, remember, you still have to stay within the FHA loan limits.
Tienen que estar, acaba de decir que acuérdense que cuando hacemos el FHA 203K, tenemos que estar en los límites del FHA dependiendo del condado donde...
463.
Sí,
463, right.
Yeah.
So if you buy a house for 300, you're putting 150 in. So the 450, you're within the
Exacto.
limits. You're still gonna qualify for the 3.5% down. They're gonna, the appraiser knows what to do on those loans.
Okay. ¿Tienen alguna otra pregunta?
¿Cuál es
Okay.
el límite del FHA por, cuál es el límite del FHA? 400
Todo depende del condado. So, dependiendo,
Por
sí.
Palm Beach.
Palm Beach, what is the limit in the Palm Beach for
600.
FHA?
No,
400.
460.
482?
I thought it was 460.
460.
You know what last year?
Creo que era
Last year it was
460.
lower,
thought it was
it was
548.
420 something.
what?
They raised it. Every year they keep raising the loan limits.
FHA?
Sí, yeah, FHA. So,
For what? For two.
We'll get you the exact number. I think it's
Yeah,
463, 250, I believe.
En el caso, por ejemplo, que la persona quiera hacer un edificio, tiene que ser añadido a la propiedad, lo puede hacer aparte. Si de pronto tengo un espacio grande y quiero hacerlo atrás del patio, pues.
o sea,
tiene
tú dices que
salir.
quieres construir un efficient.
Sí, sí, sí.
Ah, no, she's just like a, yeah.
O sea, no
Four,
adicional
right
a
there.
la casa, sino construirlo separado de la casa.
Yeah, no. She's asking like if she has already a house and she wants to refinance and make like an efficient extra.
You can.
You cannot do that, right?
Yeah,
You
Like
can.
make not attached to the house.
The parking.
Can you?
Backyard.
Not attached to the house? I don't know. That one I don't know.
that usually they attach it to the house, but sometimes we have to check on that. They call it like a mother-in-law suite. So you're,
Tiene, sí, que usualmente es como tiene que estar añadido a la propiedad, no separado. Usualmente hacen como cuando tú quieres traer a la suegra o a alguien, entonces le haces un apartamento extra. Exacto. Ujú. Los límites de una familia son 460,000. Los de dos familias, 588,850. Los 3 familias son 711,800 y los 4 familias son 884,600. Esos son los límites de acá de Palm Beach.
This is a great program for multifamily housing. A 1 to 4 unit, a 2, 3, or 4 unit, it's phenomenal. Because if someone picks up and they're going to live in one of the units, they could redo the whole property and they don't have to stick to the one, you know, the primary residence, one unit. They get the increased loan amount.
¿Les traduzco? Él dice que este es un programa muy bueno porque si encuentran una casa que está súper destruida, con este programa la pueden volver a hacer como nueva, coger buen equity y aparte hacerla como de cero, de nueva, otra vez. Como les había dicho antes, las propiedades elegibles son de 1 a 4 unidades. La de primary residence, 5% de cuota inicial. Acuérdense, si es convencional, también pueden hacer hasta un 3% de cuota inicial con el home style. Si es de 2 familias, tiene que poner el 15% de cuota inicial. Y si es de 3 a 4 unidades, que es primary residence también, un 25% de cuota inicial.
Is it for conventional, right?
Ese es para convencional, sí.
That's per conventional.
Sí, ese es convencional. Ok. Estábamos hablando del convencional, ya hablamos del FHA 203K, que es con el 3.5% de cuota inicial.
Hold on one second. So the only difference between FHA and conventional, you get a higher loan limit on conventional.
La diferencia entre el convencional y el FHA, les voy a ir traduciendo para que no vaya tan rápido. Ok, es de que en el FHA tenemos más posibilidades de que el préstamo sea mucho más grande.
En el FH.
En el FHA. Un ejemplo, supongamos tú te ganas $60,000 al año. De la manera que nosotros podemos hacer, si tú haces un FHA, tú podrías cualificar hasta $300,000. Si fuera un convencional, sería como hasta $200,000, de 180 a $200,000. Esa es la diferencia, porque ellos pueden jugar un poquito más con lo que te ganas, a estirarlo
Es
más.
como normalmente funciona.
Exacto.
Es lo mismo. Tiene más,
Sino que con el
cuesta más
FHA,
endeudado cuando
claro, sino que con el FHA tienes más la oportunidad de que te presten más dinero a que con el convencional. Con el convencional es un poco menos. ¿Ok? Ahora, ¿tienen alguna pregunta con el del FHA o el convencional antes de que entremos al BA? ¿No? Ok. VA loan.
So a VA renovation loan works just like a VA loan. I mean, it's same as FHA where you have a limited of $35,000, and then on the standard, it's maximum. And we know that they don't have to worry about loan limits on a VA loan. So really the person can get 100% financing if they are a veteran or a spouse of a veteran. So they can go in and get 100% financing and they're able to get a much higher loan limit.
Ya, el BA es 100% financiado, no tiene máximo y el mínimo que se puede prestar para hacer las renovaciones son de $35,000, que es el VA Limited y el otro es el VA estándar.
Questions?
Ese usualmente es para veteranos o para la gente que ha trabajado en el ¿cómo se llama? En el Army. Ujú.
No preguntas? Okay.
¿No preguntas?
No preguntas.
No. Como habíamos dicho, se pueden hacer cocinas, jardín, baños, la parte exterior de afuera de la casa. ¿Qué riesgos puede tener cuando se hace este tipo de préstamo? What risk?
So the risks about doing a renovation loan is you're putting out all this or you're getting a higher loan amount. You got to make sure that you're going to stay in the property long enough to get that return for yourself. Unlike an investor who does a fix and flip, when you're making your primary residence, you just want to make sure you want to stay in the property, God bless you,
Bless you.
longer so that you reduce that risk. We make sure you only work with trusted, licensed and insured contractors. We've had a lot of people said, well, can I do my own work, DIY, can I do it myself? Or do it yourself, DIY? The answer is no. When you do a renovation loan, it is required to hire a licensed contractor that is bonded insured. So we will not allow you to do that. So some people want to do it themselves. So what we tell them what they're best to do at that point is we do a regular loan. After the fact, we'll look at exploring an equity line or some other programs that might be available for them to do it themselves. Questions?
Que el riesgo que coges es que la única desventaja es que tú tendrías que quedarte un tiempo largo con esta propiedad para poder tú volver a sacar el dinero que se ha invertido en lo que es la renovación de la propiedad. No es como cuando se hace un flip que tú compras la regla y ahí mismo la puedes vender. No, en este caso tendrías que quedarte un poquito más tiempo con la propiedad para poder recuperarla.
Yes, only owner occupied.
Owner
There are
occupied.
other programs we have for investors to do that, but those are called fix and flip programs, where we will get them the money to fix the property and sell it within whatever time frame they choose.
Now, we do have a unique partnership with Lowe's. So if you find a property and your client does not want to be concerned with the contractors and vetting the contractors and lining them up, Lowe's will do all that work for you. So you're purchasing all your product through Lowe's. Lowe's will get all your contractors, and Lowe's works directly with us. So when the work's complete, we just pay Lowe's. So it's a real simple process. Makes it great for your side, for the client.
It's actually the best program out there, so we created a partnership with Lowe's, LoandDepot and Lowe's together to ensure that the clients don't have problems with their contractors. Because it's very famous down in South Florida that contractors don't finish the work, contractors stick liens on the properties after the fact, and they do certain things. So LoandDepot went out and did a national program with Lowe's, signed a contract, so if someone wants to do the renovation and they don't want the hassle of getting a licensed or a guaranteed FHA approved contractor, we turn it over to Lowe's. Lowe's will do all the legwork for the borrowers. They will have them come in, they'll sit down with them, they'll have them pick all the items. Lowe's will pick the contractors, and Lowe's knows unless that work is completed, they will not receive a dollar. They completely protect, along with ourselves, the borrower, so the borrower does not have any issues. So our biggest concern is we want to make sure the borrowers are happy, which in return makes you happy, which in return gets you referrals. So we look out for them. So in any case, with our special partnership, I tell people, let's look at Lowe's. Why? Because you're 100% protected. It takes a lot of the risk out of doing a renovation loan.
But is it more expensive because they need to pay?
Minimal.
Does it have to be a standard?
Because if you're a 203, if you do a FHA 203K, you have to get an FHA approved contractor, not any contractor. So that's a more expensive prospect. So yeah, it might be, call it 5 or 10% more, but not much more, because Lowe's is not really charging you for that. Because they're buying all the products through Lowe's, so that's where they get their money. So I would say, comparatively speaking, but people can go out and shop contractors and obviously get less cost on a contractor. But the question is the contractor going to stick a mechanic's lien on a property? Does everyone know what a mechanic's lien is? A mechanic's lien is a specific lien that a contractor who does work on your home is allowed to put on your home at any given time if they feel they were not paid the full amount of their work. And that happens also if you hire a general contractor and they hire subs, the subs can do that. So it's a very tricky situation. So I always tell people, for safety reasons, for less risk, let's look at the Lowe's program.
La compañía LoandDepot se ha afiliado con Lowe's precisamente porque para proteger más que todo al cliente, porque ellos mismos escogen los contratistas que ya tienen su licencia y todo eso, y entonces ellos se reúnen cuando ya van a iniciar el proceso con el cliente, miran qué es lo que van a arreglar, lo que se va a ir, todos los productos que van a escoger, y es ya directamente con Lowe's. Entonces los protegen, que no vayan a dejar el trabajo sin terminar, o de que les hizo falta dinero, todo es directamente con Lowe's.
All right, next slide.
This program is also for condos?
Yes,
Everything.
yes. The scope is for condos as well. Let's go to the next slide.
Should we tell them also that there is no luxury items?
There's
Like
what?
a structure, this one.
Sure.
Una de las cosas que no están incluidas en las reparaciones son cosas lujosas. También las cosas como estructurales o hacer paredes. Eso es todo. Lujosas, nada incluido ahí. No se puede incluir en las reparaciones, nada lujoso.
To make walls
Pero
is
tú no
not
dijiste que se
included.
podían hacer anexos.
No, perdón. Dije cosas lujosas. Lujosas. Luxury. Sí,
It's
no.
a luxury item.
Luxury
That's why
items.
that's why you can't put the
Como
pool in,
no
because
se
it's
puede
considered
incluir en
luxury.
reparaciones.
Luxury items are separate. Yes, you could do new walls, you could do everything
Eso
you
sí
want.
se puede hacer,
You could pick
perdón.
marble, you could pick anything you want, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's not for other luxury items.
Exacto. Perdón por la... Ok.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is going to be off the 203K. This is for investors solely. It's called a debt service coverage ratio loan.
Go ahead.
So what that is if a person wants to buy investment property, we all know Fannie Mae allows 10 properties. Well, these debt service coverage ratio loans allows an unlimited amount. You could put it in an LLC or a corporate name. It doesn't have to go personal. And what happens is it's a no income qualifying loan. We don't look at the person's income, the investor's income. We only look at their credits, and we look at what the market rent is going to be for that property.
En este tipo de préstamo no miran, no miran los ingresos, simplemente miran en cuánto se renta en el alrededor que están comprando.
So you need as little as 15% down, and how it works like a commercial loan for residential properties. Whatever the rent throws off must cover your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance,
Okay.
and HOA.
Se puede hacer con hasta un 15% de cuota inicial y solo tiene que cerciorarse de que las rentas puede cubrir lo que es el principal y los intereses, el pago.
Ok, tengo una pregunta online. Yo sé que ustedes lo respondieron, pero bueno, esta persona está diciendo que llegó un poco
Online
tarde.
question.
Y entonces estaba preguntando si tienen crédito para construcciones nuevas. El cliente tiene el lote y permisos si prestan dinero para construcciones nuevas.
Construction loans. If we can lend
Construction to
them.
permanent loans?
Yeah.
Yes.
New construction.
Well, that's called a construction to permanent loan. We call that construction. Yes, we do have construction to perm loans available. That's separate than the 203K and the home style and the VA. So that's when someone buys a piece of land and they're hiring a general contractor to build them the property. And yes, that is available to borrowers.
How do you call that program?
Construction to perm.
Construction
To perm.
To perm, yes. That means you're giving them at first a construction loan, and then it's going to turn at the end of it after it's finished to a permanent loan at that point. So versus them refinancing or doing something else, our instruments in our loan turns it to a permanent loan after conclusion.
But it's nothing to do with renovation.
Nothing to do
Correct.
with
No,
renovation.
no.
Different program.
That's when you have a piece of
Este es
land.
de inversión.
Right.
That's just a
Renovations.
piece of land,
Yeah.
and you're
Or-
building a
Yeah.
house on a piece of land.
Right.
Yeah.
Renovations are existing buildings.
Dime, mi amor.
Estaba diciendo que hay que asegurarse cuánto están las rentas en la misma comunidad
Claro.
para que cubran el principal, los intereses y el homeowner association.
O sea, tiene que cubrir. And what about the homeowners association? You say that with this program.
Yes, that factors
that has
in.
to-
That factors in. So
todo
what
el
happens
pago.
with this program is the appraisers going to go out. They're going to do what's called a market rent study.
El tasador va a ir y va a averiguar en cuánto el estudio de cuánto se renta alrededor de donde están haciendo el préstamo.
And they're going to tell us what the market rent is, and that will tell us how much the person has to put down. The minimum down payment is 15%, but that could vary according to what the market rent is. So give you an example. If the principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and HOA is $2,000 a month. As long as your market rent is $2,000 a month, they could put down as little as 15%.
The higher the credit score, the lower your down payment is. And we don't look at any work history. There's no income history. So credit and down payment is and
Entre más alto sea su puntaje en el crédito, menos cuota inicial se les exige.
So the beauty about this is a lot of investors out there don't want to show tax returns. They don't claim a lot of stuff on their tax returns, or they might have too many properties, so they don't want to go what's called a full document loan. So what happens is we say, fantastic. They're used to putting down 20% on investment loans anyway. So we tell them, as long as you're picking the right property with the market rent, it's going to be the same thing you're doing now.
Lo bueno de
Okay.
este programa.
So you see, the only thing matters in here is the amount for the monthly rent. No matter if you got some money in the bank or how much you got in your taxes or in the bank account, even if you got the 15% good credit, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
That's
it.
the only thing you need.
They don't
Yes.
check your income, nothing.
Again,
No
it's a
income,
no
no
income. We leave the
taxes,
we leave the income blank.
So the down payment, so it depends, minimum 15. If the rent is 1,500 and my mortgage will be 2,000.
We might have to
So
put down
I have to
20 or 25%
put
to
more
make it-
down, right? Put more
To make
down.
it
Too
equal.
much with my down
Correct.
payment.
It's called a 1-to-1 ratio.
Okay.
So one has to equal the other one. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So now let's say, and here's something that might pop up, an investor's buying something with someone in the property already. It could be under rented, and then we might be able to go off the market rent. But if it's not under rented, then we're gonna take the lease and the payments, and that's what we're gonna use. As long as it's not completely inflated. If it's within a variance of the market rent.
And what can the interest? Is this higher because you're not giving
Yes.
us documents?
Yes.
So the risk
Yes.
is higher?
Yes, it is. But most investors don't care about that because the interest rate doesn't matter. Because they're putting it in a company name. They're doing it as an LLC or a corporation. So they're gonna actually take all the tax write-offs against that company. So even if the interest rate's higher, they're not taking it personally where they're only allowed a certain mortgage interest deduction. This is now a corporate loan for them, even though it's signing personally. And they're gonna be able to reduce all that and reduce their income off that property and net more money in their pocket. So we could run the numbers with any investor and show them this is a much better product than if they went Fannie Mae.
Bueno,
Si vamos a suponer, si yo quiero comprar una propiedad de inversión, pero yo no tengo casa principal, no tengo ninguna casa, compro la propiedad de inversión y después quiero comprar una casa, ya no me cuenta como primera propiedad la casa que voy a comprar como regular, no de inversión.
she's asking if she already buys an investment. She wants to buy an investment property next time when she wants to buy the primary home. Can she do that?
Of course.
O
Yes.
sea, usted quiere decir que si usted compra primero la de inversión y después quiere comprar una de primary home para la
Conseguir
que...
el préstamo
But my
regular
recom-
de primera propiedad.
Sí, sí
My
se puede.
recommendation would be
Pero,
claim that on your tax returns because that way when you're going for a primary residence, we'll use that to
Okay.
offset the mortgage.
la
payments.
recomendación que él hace es que cuando uno compra una de inversión primero, tienes que reportarla en el income tax para poder usar eso como un income para ti para cuando tú vayas a comprar tu residencia principal. Pero sí se puede hacer. Primero compras la de inversión y luego vas a comprar la principal. Y te sirve eso como income para que te cualifiquen para la otra.
Pero hago una pregunta.
Sí.
Si el investor es una persona extranjera, ¿cómo se cualifica? Porque él no tiene un crédito esto porque él no es un ciudadano de acá.
How can we qualify them for a person that it doesn't live here? It's a foreign national. Foreign national.
So that
loan.
goes under a foreign national loan.
Yeah, this is
That
para
would be a foreign national loan.
préstamos internacionales.
That'd be foreign national because this is required a social security number to pull the credit and so
Y
forth.
necesita más o menos como un 25% de cuota inicial.
So here's an interesting program that we have as well. It's called the Itin Program. And we know a lot of people that have come over to the United States don't have their social security, they're not residents yet. So we have everyone know what an ITIN is, right? Tax identification number. So we will do an ITIN program specifically for those individuals up to 90% down if you got a 720 credit score. If you're 700 or above, you get 80% down. So we will pull their credit. All we need is a government ID that's not expired, a passport that's not expired, the ITIN card and a letter, which they have usually, proof of assets, 6 months reserves, and the debt to income ratio is less than 40 or equal to 43%. It's a very easy loan. So we've come across over the past couple of years a lot of people that have ITINs as they're waiting for their cards. So they were unable to get loans. Now they can get loans.
Esto es para gente que no tienen social y tienen un ITIN number y con eso pueden poner hasta el 10% de cuota inicial, de un crédito mínimo de 720 en adelante. Pues si tienen menos de eso tendrías que poner como hasta un 20% de cuota inicial. Se puede ir sí, hasta un 20% de cuota inicial si tienes menos de 720 de Fico.
Una pregunta, Florando. Si esa persona con ITIN number le dan el mismo interés que una persona con social, si tiene el mismo...
No, usualmente son más altos.
Otra pregunta, ¿qué significa ahí? ¿Qué quiere decir con la prueba de assets? ¿Qué assets tiene que tener esa persona? Proof of assets required.
Oh, ok. O sea, tienes que tenerlo usualmente mínimo unos 2 meses en el banco, porque si no te van a pedir los depósitos grandes, de dónde salieron y todo.
Tengo otra pregunta. Yo trabajo con impuestos también y esa es la pregunta que yo quería hacer acá. ¿De dónde sacan el crédito Fico para una persona con ITIN? Cuando se mete es imposible.
No,
Es
no.
Error. When you file,
Yeah, no.
if you look for ITIN number, when you try to look for a credit score, they say error.
No.
because
We
they-
pull it.
Yeah.
We pull it.
Okay.
So we.
And the other question.
Go ahead.
Okay, you got it. La otra es, cuando trabaja en una compañía con una W2, ese es su trabajo. Las W2, otra compañía que ha venido acá dicen que las W tienen que tener el número de ITIN en la W2. Eso es imposible.
Claro.
Ninguna compañía le da eso. Y otro vino un día y dijo que tenían que tenerla, pero...
Bueno, es que usualmente cuando a ti te dan un ITIN number, la gente empieza a aplicar tarjetas, todo como si fuera un social. Y yo he visto, porque yo he hecho ya préstamos para este tipo de programas, y corre como si fuera un social, y tienen FICOs, he visto FICOs de 700, 800, pero es porque lo han manejado como si fuera un social.
So ITIN people should always be able to pull the credit if they file their tax returns. If they don't file the tax returns, that might be why you're coming across that.
But that's my question. They file taxes with a W2, but then with a fake social security.
No, I've seen people, no, there should not be a fake. It should be their
Yeah.
ITIN number.
Not on W2.
I have had them.
999?
I've had them on W-2s too, where they give the ITIN numbers. And
Lo
that's
dan como si fuera un social.
Lo que pasa es que la gente no dice que es un ITIN number.
Pero
Sí.
el empleador inmediatamente sabe, porque es que un ITIN empieza número 9. Ninguna compañía
No,
le da a un
999.
empleado una W2 con un ITIN, le dan 1099. NIC, Not Employment Compensation, not W2 with ITIN number, because it's not legal. Usted no puede tener un empleado que no tiene seguro social trabajando.
So that's changed. It's now legal because the government wants to collect the taxes on it.
Ahora ha
so before it
cambiado.
was showing 99999 and not taking anything out of it. But truly now with the ITINs, they can give their employers their ITIN number, take federal taxes out, even where they're looking and take state taxes out, and they file their tax returns with that ITIN number. I have tax returns that show that.
As-
The 1040, yes, they have the ITIN number on it, but it's based on a W2 with a fake social security.
Then we'll take the 1040.
The 1040.
We'll take as the income matches up, we'll go on the 1040.
Lo que está diciendo él, para los que no entienden,
As
es
long as
que
it matches, we'll
este,
take the 1040.
es-
So let's say they were
Not the
doing,
W2.
well, we'll take the W-2 to show that the income matches.
Just the income match, not the number.
Well, if they did it that way and it doesn't match, then we'll just,
Yeah, because I
then
tried
we'll match it, then we'll
many
match it,
times,
then we'll
but
match it up
the employer
accordingly.
say- Yeah, the employer saying, I can't do
Okay, so then we'll match it up according to the income. As long as the income on the W-2 matches the W-2 income on the 1040, they'll be okay.
Lo que están hablando ellos es que ellos cuando van a hacer el income tax ponen el Itin number como si fuera el social. Entonces de esa manera pueden reportar lo que se han ganado al año. Y que las cosas han cambiado de un tiempo para acá porque antes no se podía hacer, pero ahora sí usted ya puede hacer su income tax con un Itin number.
Questions? Questions about anything?
¿Hay alguna penalidad si se paga en 2 años la casa primaria o la de inversión?
¿Cómo así?
Prepayment penalties.
Ah, ok, si tú la pagas antes, there is no prepayment if they pay before, right? No.
No, it depends. On the Fannie Mae, FHA, and VA, no
No
prepayment
penalties.
penalties. But on the debt service ratio, they have the choice. They could do no prepayment penalty, or they could do a 1 or 3 year pre-penalty if they choose to lower the interest rate.
En el de inversionista que estuvimos hablando ahora, en ese sí tiene, pero usted tiene la opción de escoger si lo haces en 1 año, 2 años o 3 años. Tú puedes pagar por eso. Pero en el que es del Fannie Mae, ese no tiene penalidades.
Cualquiera de los dos de primary house and the investment?
No, en el de investment. Ujú.
Una pregunta. Es suponer en el préstamo ¿cómo se dice? Para inversión, si uno coge un préstamo, uno tiene que tener prueba de ingreso por lo menos del banco de 1 año o algo así.
Para el que estamos haciendo ahorita,
Dejar
no te piden income para nada.
Nada.
Para nada. Simplemente lo que quieren
Sea el 15 o el que tenga que dar.
es solo la cuota inicial y que tienes que tener un buen
No
FICO.
saca el dinero ni
Nada, lo único que hacen es que se cercioran de que el pago, lo que van a pagar en renta pueda cubrirte el pago mensual de la deuda.
Una pregunta, y una persona que quiera comprar su casa primaria y que tenga el crédito sobre los 720, no tenga nada negativo, ¿cuánto es el rate ahora mismo?
What is the interest rate for someone that has a 700 plus FICO for a primary home?
For the Itin program,
No, in general, for primary home.
No negative credit.
No, it's
Excellent credit with 700
the low
plus.
fives right now.
Debajo de los 5 más o menos.
But remember something, the interest rates are significantly on the rise right now because the bond market last week and the week before broke out a new high above a 3% level. So we'll send you out emails and give you market update of where the bond market is. Everything trades according to the 10-year treasury. So interest rates are on the rise. The federal chairman Powell did say to everyone he's going to make numerous rate hikes over the next year, which sort of is pricing into the market right now, but they're anticipating higher and higher rates. And on top of it, it's very complicated, but they're not buying as many what we call mortgage-backed securities. They said they're pairing off on those, which then brings rates higher. So we'll send out emails to everyone on the market updates of where they're going, but anticipate rates going into the 6s, maybe even the 7s over the next 12 months.
what?
Se espera que suban los intereses más o menos a finales de años de entre el 6 y 7%.
That's just my opinion. That's my opinion.
Sí,
But
primary home. Sí.
I anticipate the 6s sooner in the next 3 to 6 months.
And what about investments? The rates?
The rates are in the high 5s.
High five are invested the same.
No.
No.
Lows para primary y para
But it's also going to
inversiones
depend
para
on the credit score, how much down.
cuánto va a poner de cuota inicial.
It depends.
Over 8.
Okay, anything over
Oh, okay.
740 we consider. So how much they put down? 25%. So they could be in the high 5s, low 6s, depending where the bond market trades.
Okay.
But an investment loan, they might be better off with the debt service coverage ratio because the rate might be comparable, a little bit better, and then they could put it into an LLC. So if someone's buying an investment property, they might be better off versus going with a conventional loan to a debt service coverage loan because the rate could be very similar, But if you do a Fannie Mae
guy
loan,
outside
you
with
cannot
waivers
put it in
out.
an LLC. You must put it in your personal name. While debt service coverage ratio can go in an LLC, which gives them a lot of other tax advantages.
Señora.
Si quiere comprar un investor en otro país, por ejemplo en Punta Cana.
Sí. Oh, no. No, nosotros hasta ahora no hacemos préstamos. No.
I'd like to thank everyone.
Thank you,
You
everyone.
guys great. We have lunch here, and then we're going to redo this at 1 o'clock in English.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate
Muchas
it.
gracias por el Spanglish.
My Spanglish was fantastic.
Si tienen alguna pregunta.
Thank you, everyone.